Chapter 1. Humiliation from everyone. You are listening at FameTV.info. Translator. Henyi Translations Editor. Henyi Translations. The exquisite crystal chandeliers, the luxurious and expensive furnishings, the beautiful flowers and mellow wine made the enormous Rolle Manor look magnificent. That I and the main hall, the owner of Rolle Manor, the Duke of Rolle, was having a birthday party. Grandpa, I know that you love tea. I looked around for a long time and finally got this from a wealthy businessman. Father, I especially made a pipe for you. God bless you. I hope you like it. The Duke of Rolle was sitting in the main seat. He was wearing well-fitted clothes. He sported a mustache above his mouth and his eyes were gleaming. He was holding a crutch with complex patterns in his hand. Looking at the presents that his children had given him, his wrinkled face was full of joy. Suddenly, a discordant sound arose in the main hall. It was Alger's voice, the grandson-in-law of the Duke of Rolle. Grandpa, can you lend me some money? My mother, Madame Linda, is sick and has been hospitalized. I need money for her surgery. Look, the originally lively main hall plunged into silence in a blink. Everyone's gaze fell on Alger in the corner. Alger, the live-son-in-law of the Rolle family. 2 years ago, he graduated from college. This young but ambitious man was ready to work hard to develop his career and to take good care of his mother. However, his mother got sick and he used up all the savings of his family. Just when he was desperate, a middle-aged man found him and gave him a sum of money. In exchange, he needed to marry Winnie of the Rolle family. The middle-aged man was Winnie's father, Dunn. The Duke of Rolle wanted Winnie to marry into the Wells family, but Dunn didn't want his daughter to see marriage as a bargaining chip. Hence, he found Alger and asked them to be a couple for 3 years. After getting married, Alger worked very hard, but since he didn't have a powerful background and had to take care of his mother every day, he could only quit his job and stay at home in the end. He ultimately became a loser whom everyone in the Rolle family looked down on. Oh, did I hear it correctly? You didn't prepare a birthday present for Grandpa for his birthday party and even want to borrow money from him. Are you insane? This person was Winnie's cousin, the grandson of the Duke of Rolle, Aries. He disliked Winnie's family the most, especially Alger, who had nothing to do all day. Yeah, you've been sponging off the family since the first day and still want to ask Grandpa for money. Winnie, where did you get this husband from? Look, Grandpa is getting angry. Everyone around them sported malicious and mocking glitter in their eyes. Winnie, who was also standing in the corner, turned pale. Seeing Alger, who was standing there at a loss, she felt bad as well. Even though she didn't marry him out of free will, even though they still weren't real husband and wife till now, even though she didn't like Alger being so decadent all day, they had already been together for 2 years. During the past couple of years, Alger truly took care of her. He prepared all the breakfasts and dinners at home. Every time she was bullied by the other members of the family, Alger always stepped up to protect her. It wasn't that she didn't feel touched in her heart. Unfortunately, she didn't have much weight in the family to begin with, so she couldn't do anything for him. Thinking of his mother's illness, Alger looked at the Duke of Rolle almost pleadingly. While he was just about to speak, Winnie, who was behind him, pulled him back and asked, "How much do you want?" $500,000. Alger said $500,000. Winnie's expression changed in an instant. She had never thought that he would ask for such a huge amount of money. Emboldened, Winnie walked up to Alger and looked at the Duke of Rolle in the main seat. She asked in a soft voice, "Grandpa, Winnie, are you nuts? Are you giving such a person $500,000? He may be lying. It may be a farce that his mother is sick and hospitalized. He just wants money from our family." Before Winnie could respond, Aries, who was standing next to her, chimed in. "Yeah, Aries is right. He's definitely lying deliberately." "Right, Grandpa. Don't be fooled by him." The Duke of Rolle looked more and more upset. He stared at Alger with an unfriendly gaze. He had always disliked Alger. Originally, he planned to let Winnie marry into the Wells family. It would have reaped huge benefits for their family. But, Winnie married Alger in the end, which dashed all his hopes. Thinking of this, the Duke of Rolle looked at Alger with an even colder gaze. He remained silent and went upstairs. Everyone could see that he was displeased. After the Duke of Rolle left the party, Aries looked at Alger mockingly and said, "Loser, you don't even have a job. How dare you ask us for money? In fact, I'm willing to lend it to you. It'll be the best if you can pay it off after 2 weeks. If you can't, you'll have to be my servant for a year. What do you think?" Ha ha ha, everyone laughed. A servant. No matter what, Alger was Winnie's husband, the son.in.law of the Rolle family, but Aries wanted him to be a servant. If Alger was to agree, he would definitely torture the guy harshly. "Aries, don't go too far." Winnie said with a livid look, "I've gone too far. I'm lending him money to help him." "Winnie, don't get me wrong." Aries said with a smile, "All right." The desperate Alger nodded and said, "Don't worry. I'll definitely return $500,000 to you after 2 weeks. $500,000. Aries raised his eyebrows, then pointed a finger and shook it. He said, "Since you're borrowing money from me, interest will be charged as well. After 2 weeks, you have to give me $1 million back. Otherwise, I won't lend you the money." Alger gritted his teeth and said, "Okay, deal." Everyone immediately looked at Alger like he was an idiot. Alger was apparently messing with him on purpose. An interest of $500,000 for 2 weeks, wasn't this a robbery? Even his wife, Winnie, tugged at his sleeve urgently. Alger turned around and looked at his wife. In a desolate voice, he said, "I have no other choice." Looking into Alger's eyes, Winnie's heart suddenly ached. She powerlessly loosened her hand which she had used to hold Alger's clothes. Aries gave $500,000 to Alger. After getting the money, Alger didn't waste any more time. He said goodbye to Winnie and rushed to the hospital in a hurry. "Aries, looks like you'll have a new servant after 2 weeks. Winnie, how do you feel about having a husband who's a servant?" Ha ha ha. The laughter of this group of people and the voice of them talking sarcastically to Winnie followed Alger. He was really frustrated, but there was no other way. He could only clench his teeth and bear the humiliation. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.